Good morning, football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially on to week 14 of the 2022-2023 NFL season. Where does time go, right? My goodness, I mean, it was just yesterday, right? It was just yesterday where we were back on, September 8th, I believe, when the Bills took on the Rams and shocked the world, and we didn't know what the Rams were going to become this year. We didn't know how good the Bills were going to be, and, well, after 13 weeks, I think we all see where they both are, and maybe some of our predictions were correct. But today, we're going to focus a little bit on the surprises because, well, just like the description says, this season has been full of surprises. But, are they pleasant surprises? Well, I guess that's just depending on who you ask. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. This is me, your boy Larry B, bringing to you here on a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. My goodness, Christmas is so close. New Year's is so close. The IE Sports Radio voting poll, IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame voting poll is underway, and there are so many goodies happening right now around IE Sports Radio. Well, this is just one of them, and I've got plenty more. Make sure to check us all out and enjoy, because, well, December is usually a very, very fun time here at IE Sports Radio. So, without further ado, we got a lot to get to today. What happened in Week 13 that surprised the crap out of some people? What continues to disappoint? What continues to make everyone happy? Or shall I say, what teams? And, oh yeah, we are going to play our favorite game at the end of today's show, of course. What if the playoffs were to start tomorrow? Who would you have going to the bowl? Who would you have winning? Will that change next week? Mine has changed pretty much almost every week. Here we go, y'all. You are now tuned in live to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio. Once again, your direct feed for all IE Sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, big ups to our boy, Mr. Adam Karnick, here in the chat room. He said he was tuning in this morning while figuring out all the playoff scenarios for my fantasy league. Joys of being the commissioner. I am with you, good sir. The IE Sports Radio Bowl 6, actually. I believe we do have our 4 playoff teams as a possibility right now, but man, it is going to be close, and, well, yeah. I will get to those actually in just a little bit. Might as well talk about some fantasy football, right? And keep you guys up on the IE Sports Radio Bowl. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to, of course, talk about this crazy season that is. And isn't every season crazy in its own manner? I mean, isn't it in its own right? It's just been awesome. And well, today, as the title says, once again, pleasant surprises. You may even hear me be a little pleasant today about a particular team. Well, maybe not, I don't know. But with that said, let's get things going underway. Big ups, of course, to all of our Patreons. We gotta show them some love, Mrs. Parsons, Bay Area Apparel, Anonymous, and Mr. Marcus Lopes. Great. Thank you for showing us love, you guys. Make sure you head on over to the website, isportsradio.com. Show us some love. Let us know what you guys think about the website, of course, and hey, become a Patreon, check out our blog, check out everything we got to offer, check out the shop. We got Christmas bulbs on there now, of course, with Miss Angela Winstead selling those Christmas ornaments, the IE Sports Radio Christmas ornaments. Your tree is not complete without one. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and roll right on into this thing here today. Because, well, week 13 was interesting to say the least. And I hate using that word nowadays because I feel like all of us podcasters use that word way too much. But let's be real. The Bills, my goodness, man. I mean, if there was ever a game that was going to say the Bills are going to minimal the AFC Championship this year, I mean, anything could happen. But it just looks like it's going in their favor. It was this game. I mean, now they have completely done away. I mean, they're 9-3 on the season, you guys. And they have completely done away with these Patriots. I mean, I know they have them in week 18, but I don't know, man. I don't see this team. The Patriots, they could get a little bit better here. I don't know, but I just kind of feel like there's I don't know. We shall see in week 18, but this game was very decisive. The score seems like it was actually a little bit worse. The game was a little bit worse than the score, I feel. Realistically, the Bills took them to the woodshed, man. I mean, it was a very simple game. Nothing crazy here. Bill did everything he could, and this Bills team went completely ape crap. I mean, Allen is just playing out of his mind right now. This guy is such a joy to watch. I mean, 22 for 33, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. My gosh, man. I mean, the team that they've put around this guy, I mean, Diggs has been great this year. Cook. This team is absolutely incredible. And, well, last Thursday night, 24-10, the Bills do away with those Patriots. The AFC East is a very close, very, very, very close division this year. But at the end of the day, we all know the Bills, they got it done. And, well, 9-3. Some people would argue that they could be even better than 9-3 right now. All I gotta say is they're 9-3, and they look pretty damn good. On to Sunday, you guys. The Steelers, my goodness. Hey, the Steelers got it done. They're 5-7. We know they're not that great this year. We understand. No Ben, it's not no Ben, no problem. Mike Tomlin's got a whole bunch of problems. But you know what? Mike Tomlin's also, in my opinion, a future Hall of Fame coach. A lot like Bill Belichick. Are they on the same level? Not really, but at the same exact time, I don't care. I put Mike Tomlin as one of the most memorable, legendary coaches, you know, or one of the. There's only 3 freaking coaches of the Steelers ever. So I mean, you know, Mike Tomlin fits the mold of just being so great and doing what he does, even with crappy teams. I mean, he found a way, and the Falcons this year have played decent. The Falcons, I think, are playing a little bit more, in my opinion. To me, this is a pleasant surprise because, really, like, the Falcons, I thought these guys bottom feeders big time. I mean, you know, and yes, okay, before you get all crazy, I get it. Yes, I know they aren't the top of the NFC South. So, you know, you can't necessarily say that, you know, they're the best team because the Bucs got them barely. But, you know, I had these guys as stone cold bottom feeders, and here they are at 5-8, man. They're looking pretty solid. At the end of the day, 19-16 though this last past weekend. They found a way to get it done, man. The Steelers found a way to get it done. Kenny Pickett, 16 for 28, 197 yards, 1 touchdown. Harris, man, Najee Harris, 17 carries, 86 yards. You know, he's coming into his own. And I like what the guys got to offer. Let's see what the kid's got. Don't write him off. I think he's a heck of an athlete. And for anybody who's like, oh, he's a bust or whatever, he ain't no bust. Watch him do his thing. You know, get him an offensive line first. Anyway, next up, the Packers over the Bears. All right, we have Mr. Adam Karnick in the audience, and well, he's probably not the happiest guy out there right now, simply because of the fact that, maybe the Bears just kind of had this game. I mean, seriously, man, like, are you for real? I mean, watching this game, and at the half, it's 16-10 at the half. 10-0 at the end of the first quarter, Bears are leading, and that's already head-turning. That's already enough for me to be like, okay, every other game right now isn't as important as this one. At the half, the Packers get, they get their TD late in the second quarter, but it's still 16-10. That's just not what I thought this halftime score would be. And then we get into the third quarter, only 1 field goal, and all we know is that Aaron Rodgers is, I don't know. Some people are saying he's collapsing this year. Some people are saying, he's giving some time. Tough times is what it is. Well, I think it was the latter. Because, the fourth quarter was a Packers explosion. 19-10. Okay, you're leading by 2 possessions going into that fourth. And my goodness, here come the Packers. And it wasn't just like a boom, it all happened at one time. No, this was the whole fourth quarter, man. You get a TD, okay? A.J. Dillon with a 21-yard run into the end zone with a Mason Crosby extra point with 14:41 to go in the third quarter. Oh, in the fourth quarter, sorry. Then you get a Mason Crosby field goal. The offense gets close enough to get him a 32-yard field goal with 4:49 to go. And then why not? And by the way, of course, that first score brings them to 2 points, 19-17 Packers. That Mason Crosby field goal will give them the lead by 1 point, 20-19. The Bears could still do something, but there's nothing they can do. Rodgers kicked in, and well, there it is, you guys. With 1:51 to go in this game, it was the cherry on top. And Aaron Rodgers to Christian Watson for 46 yards, then to Mercedes Lewis for the 2-point conversion. That all but sealed it, 28-19. Wasn't this game just double digits a couple quarters ago? It was. Last quarter, it was. And in one quarter, the Packers turned in from a down double-digit deficit to a 2-digit deficit. Packers win this one 28-19, putting the Bears at 3-10. The Packers are now 5-8. Adam Karnick here in the chat room, the host of Chi-Town Weekly. Of course, catch him every Monday here on IE Sports Radio, Monday evening. And Adam says here, they did. I understand that this is a tank season and they maintain draft position, but I wanted this one. And, right, it's a gosh dang rivalry, man. And the Bears, well, that's it. I mean, what more do the Bears do? There's no more shots at the Packers this year. They have been swept. And, losing to the Packers sucks for these guys. The first game was back on the 18th of September, and they lost in Lambeau 27-10. And, well, they lost almost somewhat. It was a better score this time in Soldier Field, but no cigar. Sorry, Bears fans. Next up. The Lions can win football games, you guys. They've won 5 this year. I made a joke that the coach is all riled up about winning 5 games before week 14 in our IE Sports Radio chat room. And, I made a joke. They're like, yeah, we made history. And then Adam reminds me, no, they actually did that about 10 years. And they did, you guys. I totally forgot. The Lions were decent, about 9 years ago. And it's hard to believe because 8 years before that, okay, they had the infamous 0-16 season. So it just sucks because there's so much bad just falling over them, But anyway, long story short, the Jags, I don't know. They're weird. They've had some games this year where the Jaguars look like, oh my gosh, they can win a lot of games. And then there's games like this where it's like, you lost to the Lions. You don't deserve to ever win again. But the Lions and Jaguars, this is a true toilet bowl. I hate to say it. Throw the Raiders in the mix and you got yourself one bad showing there on the football field. But, well, the Lions earned this one. They beat down the Jaguars. And you know what? Maybe for once the Lions finally see they have talent. Cool, right? So 40-14. Those Lions get it done over the Jaguars. Complete domination. At the half it was 23-6 Lions. They got it done. 5-7 now on the season. Jaguars fall to 4-8. Despite Trevor Lawrence having a decent day with 179 yards, Goff had 340. There you go. And St. Brown, 11 receptions for 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know what? They earned it. So, Adam says here, fun fact though, Ford Field is hosting the 20th NFL season, or its 20th NFL season. Well, we shall look at that. He says, it has yet to host a Lions playoff game. Oh, that sucks. I didn't know where you were going with that one, Adam, but, well, poor Lions. I guess something's got to change in Detroit, man. I want to see them win. So I want to see them get decent somewhere along the line. So, anyway, staying in that cold NFC North and splitting it with the AFC East, the Vikings took on the Jets. The Jets have been probably the biggest surprise, in my opinion. Let's take a look at some surprises going down that stretch, by the way. The Packers winning that game was a surprise. The Bears being actually in that game was a surprise. The Lions dominating the Jaguars was actually a surprise, in my opinion. It really, really was. Were they pleasant? Like I said, it depends on who you ask. The Jets this year, let's talk about, you want a surprise, man. The freaking Jets have been a gigantic surprise this year, as the Jets have won games. They've won games, guys. They've won 7. They're above 500, and it's week 13 or week 14 now. I hate to say it and sound like such a jerk, but this team I did not see winning basically, more than 5-6 games. And they've already done that before week 14. Good for them. They've done well. But then they ran to the Vikings, and you know what? It was a pretty good game. In my opinion, this game was a surprise on its own, because the Vikings are a weird team. They have everything they need, but a lot of the time they don't play like it. It's the truth. Cousins has these weird games where he looks like he shouldn't even be starting. And then he has these other games where you're like, okay, that dude's like pretty legit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, right? Like, sorry. So Cousins, 21 for 35, 137 yards. I'm sorry, 173 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, you know what, man? Give him some props. And this team, the supporting cast around him, Cook, Jefferson, they've done pretty damn good this year for these guys. Despite a solid performance here, Mike White actually getting the start this week. Yeah, this young man out of Western Kentucky, okay? He's not a rookie. He's 27 years old. Some people are like, who is this guy? I know, I'm saying the same thing. But hey, 31 for 57, yeah, that's not the greatest percentage. But he did get 369 yards. Okay, he threw 2 picks, but what do you do? Hell with it. It's the Jets, man. You throw whatever you can at your opponent. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the truth, you know? So, Knight, though, had a good day. 15 carries for 90 yards. Wilson, 8 carries for 162 yards. Jefferson looked pretty solid, like I said, for the Vikings, and so did Cook. At the end of the day, this is a pretty good game, man. I really like this game a lot. The Vikings pulled this one out. The Jets made them work for it, you know. Realistically, I mean, the Vikings pretty much had this game. It was a touchdown with 6:45 to go. Mike White on a 1-yard carry. Greg Zuerlein with the extra point. I mean, that's where it became 27-22. The Vikings defense basically, you know, ended the game there. Didn't let them score anymore. Of course, the Vikings couldn't get in the end zone either, but, you know, it became a pretty decent game. So, anyway, with that said, that is that. The Vikings, 10-2 on the season, and the Jets now 7-5. The Commanders and the Giants tie. That's it. There's nothing more to say. What the crap? I mean, I know, both teams wanted it, and you know what? That's what happens. A weirdo kind of a game. At the half, we have 13-13. I mean, this game was like destined to tie, right? Aside from a 10-0 start at the end of the first for the Commanders, well, 13-13 all at the end of the second. The third quarter, the Giants were like, hey, I want to lead now. You guys led the start of the game. Now we're going to lead. And then, a touchdown for the gosh darn it, the Giants, I'm sorry. We were looking at, trying to figure out my playoff scenarios too at the same time, but realistically, the Giants and the Commanders had every chance to win this game in that fourth quarter. And it's like, I don't know, maybe do what the Chargers did a couple weeks ago. You know, go for 2, screw it. Go for that 2-point conversion, Commanders. They scored with 1:45 to go. Taylor Heineke to Dotson, and well, there it is. 1:45 to go in the game. They played it safe, tried to go into overtime and win it, and well, unfortunately, their offense wasn't strong enough to do it. And well, neither were the Giants. This thing ends in a tie, and kind of crazy how their records are almost identical. I mean, it goes to show you how close these teams really are. The Commanders now at 7-5-1, the Giants now at 7-4-1. So there you have it. The Eagles obliterate the Titans. Is this a surprise? Is it really? Okay. This, again, I'm going to sound like a total jerk. But honestly, you guys, the Titans, like, let's be real. Like, I have so much respect for Mike Vrabel. I grew up idolizing the guy as a linebacker myself, defensive end myself. You guys, I don't. the Titans don't play nobody, man. I mean, let's be real. That AFC South, the Colts are a dumpster fire, and right now their fans will even admit it. You know, they got Jeff Saturday, and they're doing everything that man can. I respect him wholeheartedly. That team just doesn't have so many playmakers. Just, you know, the Texans are like the new Raiders, which is surprising for me because I thought the Raiders would continue to just be the Raiders, but the Texans need everything right now to go in their favor to even end with dignity. I'm sorry, but I mean, you know, the Texans are just blah. And then you have the Jaguars who just can't seem to get it together, man. They can't get right. Remember that movie Life? They just can't get right. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I don't understand what's going on, you know, with that whole division. And then there are the Titans that, well, they win football games because they play those guys a lot. They're 7-5. Yes, the Titans can go heads up with the Chiefs and all these teams. Yes, they can. But then you got teams like the Eagles, and good luck. I mean, the Eagles, Cale Henderson said it. He's actually in the chat room right now. Cale Henderson, freaking crap, dude. Like, yeah, he said it. The Eagles are like the top dog this year, the top bird, if you will. And I'll be damned if they're not. I mean, you know, maybe not say that, but guys, the Eagles completely obliterate the Titans 35-10. Not a damn thing they can do. Everything that the Titans threw at the Eagles had an answer to. And I mean, aside from a touchdown to field goal, that was all she wrote, man. 7-7 at the end of the first. You have a second quarter that ends 21-10. Already it's getting kind of ugly. And from that point on, the Titans didn't score anymore, man. That was it. 2 more touchdowns added to the Eagles total in the next 2 quarters. And that's all she wrote. Jalen Hurts is balling, man. If you have him on your fantasy team, you're very happy right now. This guy, 29 for 39, 380 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, just what a day, man. A.J. Brown, how about him doing his thing? We knew he was special in college, right? Well, here he is in the NFL. 8 receptions, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. At the end of the day, I get it. The Titans, I get it. They're a solid football team. But I don't... if they go, I don't know if they're going to make it out, you know, that first round again. I just... That's all there is to it. So, anyway... Titans will drop to 7-5. Eagles jump to 11-1. In the chat room here, Cale Henderson says Lions will be good. Hope they give Dan Campbell another year with all those picks. Yes, they have something. We just don't know what it is yet. It's there. They got it going. They're a paper team for sure. They look good on paper, but they can't seem to win it on the field, but regardless, we'll see. And then Cale Henderson, the Raiders are going to win out. Oh, we're going to get to the Raiders in a few minutes. So, what happened with the Ravens this week? I understand that there was an injury to Jackson, and, well, that says it all. Because if Jackson would have played the whole game, well, I think his score would be a lot worse. Regardless, the Ravens get this thing done 10-9 over the Broncos. Broncos drop to 3-9. And the Ravens will jump to 8-4. Just a kind of game where you know for a fact that the Broncos actually have a chance. That's it. That's this kind of game. The Broncos have a chance. And they didn't take advantage of it. That's all there is to it. And the Ravens still found a way to win this thing by 1 point. Huntley did all right. 27 for 32, 187 yards, 1 interception. I feel bad for Russell Wilson because I still believe in that guy. I still think he's amazing. Short quarterback. I'm a fan of the short players. I was a short player myself. I know there's been a lot of hate geared towards him, and I think that's absolutely crap. But, hey, hopefully everything is better for him and this team, and we'll see. As a Raider fan, I can't believe I'm saying that, but I will cheer for Russell Wilson all day long. So, of course, not over the Raiders, but versus any other team. But yeah, as of right now, Denver's a dumpster fire, a lot like, you know, a couple other teams in the NFL. And to me, that was kind of I thought they would be a competitive 4th place, but they're not. So anyway, that was a surprise to be this year. And the Titans, like I said, if you want to call them a surprise, you can. But the Eagles, I think they're like a huge surprise this year because I don't know if I had them so good, and they're freaking dominating. So, anyway, over to the Browns, over the Texans. Is it a surprise? Is this a surprise? I don't think it is. The Texans lose this game. That's it. And the Browns win this game. They get Watson back. They look a little bit better now. Are they going to make the playoffs? I don't think they will. But at the moment, I do know that the Browns at least have hope and they're happy. So that's really it. 27-14. The Browns earned this game. Watson, 12 for 22, 131 yards, 1 interception. Chubb, 17 carries for 80 yards. Not a bad day for him. Peoples-Jones, 3 receptions for 44 yards. Pretty solid. Realistically, they with this quarterback, they got a chance. Next year, I think, if they draft well and have a good offseason. As for the Texans, they're going to need everything they possibly could ever want in life to right this ship. I mean, seriously, it's going to take a major offseason, maybe a few of them, because this team is just bad. 1-10-1 now on the season for this team. Well, we'll see. We'll see what these guys do coming up in the future. But as for right now, the Browns 5-7, Texans 1-10-1. All right, the Seahawks. Oh my gosh, the Seahawks. I thought they would have won this game by more. Honestly, the Rams have fallen apart. And this is, from what I understand, the first losing season for McVay. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. The Rams just don't have it. And to me, I feel like this is one of the biggest surprises of the season. But it's like we saw this versus the Bills in week 1. No one wants to say anything because no one wants to look stupid, including myself, after 1 week, talk about how the rest of the season is going to go. But for those of you who said, no, the Rams are terrible this year, there's something wrong, and, well, they're not going to look very good. Ding, 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 you pegged it, because that's exactly what happened. I mean, they're in games, but they can't seem to win them. Geno Smith, man, I mean, can we get an applause for this dude? This guy's balled this year, man. You know what? Good job. 7-5 season. Screw it, man. The division's not the hardest division, for sure. I thought for sure, this season, dominance is what I thought. AFC West, NFC West, wrong. It's actually the exact opposite. AFC East, NFC East. We've talked about that already on the show this year, and that's been quite the surprise. Probably the biggest surprise of the season, in my opinion. But the Seahawks get this thing done. What a job for them. 27-13. Nice victory. 7-5 in the season. Rams dropped to 9-3. Smith, 28 for 39, 360 yards. 3 touchdowns. He threw a pick, but who cares, man? Tyler Lockett, 9 receptions, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. Good for this guy, man. Good for this team. And they look good, man. We'll see what the Seahawks do coming up. Niners and the Dolphins. Okay, it's not wrong of me to say that I thought this game would be the exact opposite. I just felt like, the Niners weren't as solid. I'll be real with you. I did not think that the Dolphins, as good as they played this year, were going to fall to this Niner team. But then again, they're so close that it's like, man, you have 2 nearly equal teams playing each other. And I thought if you would have asked me what the final score is, I would have said probably the same thing, just the opposite way. Well, I was in for a surprise this weekend as the Niners got it done, man. Niners, they continued to impress. They've had their hits. I know they lost Lance this year, but Jimmy G, I know they're happy they didn't get rid of him, and they look good, man. This was a really good game. It was anybody's game at the half, really. I mean, it was anybody's game almost the entire game. At the end, well, going into the fourth quarter, Hill, Tagovailoa to Hill, man, 23-17 with 14:28 to go in this game, and it's a game. But nope, Robbie Gould at the end of the game says, I'm going to nail me a 48-yard field goal, and then Dre Greenlaw is a 23-yard scoop and score. Fumble recovery all the way to the house, y'all. I mean, once again, at the end, I get it. It was just realistically 26-17. Some people will say, but I'm sorry, I'm a defensive guy. You got to count that scoop and score, and that gets added insult to injury, And there it is, 33-17. Niners get a nice victory this week, and well, both teams are now 8-4 on the season. Next up here, we have the Chiefs and the Bengals. Okay. Really? I don't know. What is it about the Bengals that the Chiefs just can't get over? Like, I don't understand it. To me, I don't feel like the Bengals are that good. They're 8-4, but I don't know. Like, I didn't have this team going back to the bowl this year. I just, they're not as bad as the Rams for dang sure, but they're certainly not the team they were last year. Burrow, 25 for 31, 286 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. Pirine, 21 carries, 106 yards. Chase, 7 receptions, 97 yards. Having him really makes a difference, doesn't it? And you know what? This team got it done. They made it happen. The Chiefs couldn't do crap, man. Like, I mean, they got their licks, but there was nothing there. Overall, going into the fourth quarter, it was actually 24-17 Chiefs. But it was all Bengals in the fourth quarter with a touchdown, a field goal early on, and then a touchdown midway through. 27-24. Bengals win this one at home. What a game, right? The Bengals are now 8-4 on the season as the Chiefs will drop to 9-3. Those beloved Raiders of mine. I mean, you know what? This has been a surprise to me. 3 straight, y'all. I'm actually proud of this team for the first time in years. But you know what? I'm happy. I really am. Good. Good. I mean, this team is 5-7 now. It's ridiculous in my opinion still. They're 5-7 with all that damn talent. But beggars can't be choosy, right? And as a Raider, I feel like I've been a beggar my whole life. So with that said, it was a good game, guys. I enjoyed it very, very much. At the half, okay, Chargers led by 3. Honestly, I thought someone of the Raiders would just collapse and the Chargers would just run it up. But no, that third quarter was strong for the Raiders. 2 touchdowns, man. Devontae Adams had himself a day, man. Like, incredible. 8 receptions for 177 yards, right? Like, dude, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 26 carries for 144 yards. Okay. Derek Carr, 16 for 30, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He threw a pick, but you know what, man? Good for you, Derek Carr. This team led in the early fourth quarter, 27-13 after a 25-yard Daniel Carlson field goal. And you guys, how about this, man? 27-20. Those Chargers will make this a game with 8.5 to go. With a Justin Herbert to Keenan Allen 35-yard pass. Cameron Dicker with the extra point. It is a 7-point game, y'all. 7-point game. And you guys know me, I'm a defensive guy. And what happens? The Raiders hold strong. We didn't score anymore, but neither did they. Congratulations, Las Vegas Raiders, now 5-7 on the season. Be surprised, everybody. I have been this happy for the Raiders in a long time, so I'm proud to be a Raider fan forever, of course, even as much as I can't stand them half the time. More than half the time. Almost all of the time. But you know what? They're my team. I love them. I inherited them from my father. And you know what? I'm proud to say they're 5-7 after a really crappy start. So let's see where they end up. Chargers are up to 6-6. This is probably, in my opinion, the biggest surprise of the entire season, aside from the AFC and NFC West being kind of crappy, and the NFC East and AFC East being amazing. My biggest letdown, I think, this year, and this is coming from a Raider fan, just as a football fan, I thought the Chargers were going all the way to the bowl, but it is what it is. They have completely crumbled, and here they are now at 6-6. Rough go for these guys. Okay, on to the primetime games. Got about 10 minutes left here on the show. The Dallas Cowboys, man, they run this thing up. Biggest fourth quarter in Dallas Cowboys history. Freaking crap, man. It was 21-19 going into the fourth quarter. Dallas was leading by just 2 points. Well, that wasn't good enough, and somebody gave some kind of speech. I don't know what happened, man. Maybe just holding the fours in the air did something, but I don't know if they even did that. But I'm trying to make something up. They must add some of Michael Jordan's secret juice from Space Jam. I don't know, but 54-19 is what this thing exploded into. How about that, man? Like, they went ahead and just ran that sucker up. Just touchdown. I mean, freaking crap, man. That's insane. Right? It was that 1, 2, 3. I mean, oh my gosh. They scored 5 touchdowns. Granted, there was a blocked field goal. Okay. And there was a 2-point conversion that failed. And of course, like I said, a blocked PAT. But man, 54-19. That's insane. And what a way to just blow this thing out at the end. Prescott, 20 for 30, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Pollard helped me out in fantasy this week, helped Cecilia and I out get that victory. 12 carries, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lamb, 5 receptions, 71 yards, 1 touchdown. Good day for the star, you know. Good day for those Cowboys. As for the Colts, I guess, you know, they kind of figured, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough go right now, you guys. And you know what? They're doing all they can. So, you know, don't be so tough on them. This team they're fighting. And you know what? That's a lot more than what I could say for other teams at this point in the season who are just kind of tanking. So, I'm all for it. Good job for them. So, there we have it. And the Cowboys will now jump to 9-3, and the Colts will fall to 4-8-1. And then Monday Night Football. I was outside hanging Christmas lights when this happened, you guys. We're enjoying the game. Of course, having a good old time. You know, Celia's making dinner or, you know, finishing up. Actually, no, we just finished dinner. She's cleaning up. I'm over here outside hanging Christmas lights with my Hulu TV on my phone. And I really thought this was it. Like, I was like, all right, man, this game's over. Like, the freaking Saints, like, dominated, y'all. Like, the Saints completely went off, getting nasty in this game, man. 10-3 at the half. Okay, cool. And then out of nowhere, a scoreless third quarter for the Buccaneers. Interestingly enough, they didn't score a touchdown until the last 3 minutes of the game, which is crazy. The Buccaneers. And we go into the fourth quarter, 13-3, and I'm like, yeah, these Bucs are done. I don't know what's going on. Then I start having those thoughts about Tom Brady again. Like, oh, man, like, should he have really retired? Like, I'm a fan of Tom. Like, it sucks. I don't want to see him go out like this. Silly me, right? Silly all of us. Shame on us for thinking that about Tom Brady. I don't give a crap if he's 45 years old. Will Lutz win a 29-yard field goal with 8:02 to go in this game. And, well, it's 16-3. 16-3. 8:02. Did we forget that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time? I don't care what you say. That's how it goes. And you know something, you guys? He proved it yet again. Oh my gosh, this guy. Here we go. 3 minutes to go in this game. Tom Brady hits Cade Otton, 1-yard pass into the end zone. Ryan Suckup with the extra point. And there it is, 16-10 now. Bucs are closing in. Well, defense does their job, and the Bucs drive down the field. And with 3 seconds on the clock, Tom Brady will drop back and deliver a pass to Rachaad White. 6-yard pass into the end zone. And ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady and those Bucs, or no, he's a team guy. The Buccaneers, after Ryan Succup's extra point, will earn this game 17-16 at home. My goodness. My goodness, right? I mean, it's Tom Brady, y'all. Shame on us for thinking that. Yeah, they're 6-6, but this guy can still pull out those drives at the end of the day, at the end of the game, those game-winning drives, cool, calm, collected. You know, what do you do? What do you do, man? You got to give him his props. You got to show him some love. Or I guess give him some respect. And at the end of the day, well, that's Tom Brady, man. 36 for 54. Not the best day at the office. 281 yards. Okay, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Fournette, 10 carries, 49 yards. Goodwin, 8 receptions for 63 yards. It was a rough day at the office for these guys, but you know what? They got the victory, and that's all that matters. They interviewed him at the end. Tom Brady, as humble as can be, you know, just a great, great job, just throwing all the effort to his team, or throwing all the love and praise to his team on their effort, and just what a day, man. 17-16, Buccaneers jump to 6-6, and the Saints will drop to 4-9. All right, you guys, it's about that time. About that time to play What If the Playoffs Were to Start Tomorrow. Courtesy of NFL.com. Here are what the current playoff picture looks like at the moment. And we have here the number 1 seed, of course, those Buffalo Bills. The number 7 seed, currently, those New York Jets, they would go to take on the number 2 seed, the Kansas City Chiefs. In my opinion, the Chiefs would win this game and move on to the next round. Then we would have the current number 6 seed, the Miami Dolphins, heading over to play number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. As much as I would like to see the Dolphins actually go deep in the playoffs, I don't think that would happen this time around. I would have those Ravens advancing, and then we have here the Bengals taking on the Titans. And this is a weird game because I kind of feel like they're both in the same area. Titans, once again, they're not world beaters. I'm sorry. They're a team that's pretty damn good in a division that just makes them look better. The Bengals are not the team they were last year. And, well, there you have it. What do you say? I'm going to go, and this is a tough one, but I'm going to go Bengals in this game to win this, or to win it, okay? Then we have the Bengals would go over to play the Bills, and, well, that's pretty much about a wrap, because I would take the Bills all day in that game. And then the Ravens would play the Chiefs, and as close as this game would be, I would have to still go with the Chiefs in this one. I feel like they would pull it out, some Mahomes magic, and I would have the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed. And as close as this one would be, I'm still going to take the Bills to win that game and go to the Super Bowl. In the NFC, this is a crazy one. Well, actually, let's go ahead and take a look at, by the way, the AFC teams who are on the bubble. We have, of course, the Patriots at 6-6. Insane, right? Then we have the Chargers at 6-6, and the Raiders, that's where the bubble stops, kind of. Raiders at 5-7. Okay, Browns at 5-7. Steelers at 5-7. We have here the Colts at 4-8-1. And then, of course, those Jags at 4-8. Broncos at 3-9 and, well, eliminated at this moment. We have here the Texans, and I like how NFL.com that says teams are listed in approximate 2001 draft order. Texans and the Bears are next. Okay. That's cool. Is that like a projection of what they would be right now? Okay. Then we have in the NFC, the Eagles, current number 1 seed at 11-1. Number 7, or the 7th seed at the moment, the Seattle Seahawks would be taking on the number 2 seed, and that, of course, is the Minnesota Vikings. Well, Seahawks would fly on over to the Vikings, and I don't think they would go any further. I would like to say there'd be an upset there, but I just can't. The Vikings have played too good this season, and as good as the Seahawks have played, I don't know if they can win that game. So I am going with the Vikings to win that one. Next up, we'd have the number 6 seed, the New York Giants, which has been a pleasant surprise this year, depending on who you ask, taking on those San Francisco 49ers. And as much as I would love to say there's an upset in this game, because I've been cheering for the Giants low-key, I can't. I'm going to go with those Niners to win this thing. And the last game would be the Cowboys at the Buccaneers, and that would actually be a really close game. But I don't know, man. It's playoff time. Brady, I mean, it's really hard for me to not take the Bucs in this game, but I'm not. I'm actually going to take the Cowboys. After what I seen the other night, I mean, this last past week, they both had really, really good games, but I just kind of thought the Cowboys would have a little bit more at this point in time, and I would go with the Cowboys to win it. Okay, that means my lowest seed, which of course is the Cowboys, would go on to face the Eagles, and well, that ends shortly. I'm sorry, the Eagles are that damn good, and I would see the Eagles winning that game and moving forward. After that, it would be Niners and Vikings. This could be a toss-up, man. My goodness, what a game that would be right now. And as much as this is against my will, because I have been cheering on those Vikes, the Niners have something special. And I honestly think they would beat the Vikings and head on over to play the Eagles in the NFC Championship. That's where it would stop, in my opinion, because I would definitely go with the Eagles to win that game. But that would be a pretty solid game. At least I think they give the Eagles a run for their money. But the Eagles are just too good, and I would have the Bills still playing the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And right now, I would have the Bills edging that game out by just a small margin. But it could really go either way. And hey, that, of course, is why that is the Super Bowl. That is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for today's show. I just want to give a big shout out to everybody in the IE Sports Radio Bowl, Fantasy Football League, of course, good old IE Sports Radio Bowl 6. Current standings right now, Newton's Law of Physics. That is Mr. John Felipe. Or, sorry, Newton's Law of Savagery. I said physics. Yep, I'm a teacher. Currently 10-3 on the season. Congratulations. Looking pretty good with 2 more weeks to go. Go whine about it. Currently second place, also at 10-3. That, of course, is Mr. Mike Pat. We have here Mr. Oh, sorry about that, too. Over here messing around with the music. Sorry, guys. We have here Mr. Taryn Rodriguez at 9-4. Oh, yeah. Looking solid with lambs, not lambs. And then, of course, my beautiful wife Cecilia and I, the Metropolis Sharks, currently at 8-5. Hey, we made it! Or at least we hope we did. And then right on the bubble, we have here a 3-team race. That is Angela Winstead, the GM here of IE Sports Radio at 6-7. Kansas City Madness, Mr. Brandon Buck. And the Bayou, I think it's Blues. I think he's trying to say Blues there. I know what he's trying to say there, but Mr. Kyler Reynolds at 6-7. We have 3 weeks to go. Who will make those playoffs? We shall see. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is that for today's show. It was a good one. Get those votes in for the IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame. Votes will end at 7 p.m. on Saturday, this coming Saturday, on December 10th at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. The round of 16 will start next week. And, well, we have plenty of football to go. So happy to join you this morning. And really appreciate you guys showing love, spending some time here, and just being a part of this awesome season. As always, big ups to as I always say, big ups to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, nothing is possible. Big ups to all of our listeners out there for that. You guys, IE Sports Radio is not possible. And of course, just a big shout out and thank you to the entire IE Sports Radio family. You guys are incredible, and we are doing our best to give you the best content we can possibly give each and every week. Give the show a follow at 3 and Out, all spelled out, IESR. Give me your boy man a follow at VTHEE_LB53. You can all give us a follow on all social media, pretty much everywhere at IE Sports Radio. Check out the website, IESportsRadio.com. Big shout out to our Patreon, once again, Mrs. Parsons, Bay Area Apparel, Mr. Marcus Rose Great, and Anonymous. And well, we appreciate you all. Thank you all so very much, and we will see y'all next week. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.